Welcome back. Today we're going to do a portfolio overview as of February 2nd, 2020. As you can see, the last month has been good to me. I'm up almost 57%. This is my Robinhood account. This is my speculation account. For those of you that are not aware, I do both short-term and long-term investing. I use my Robinhood account as a vehicle for short-term investing. It's speculative. I could lose all my money. I do riskier plays. I try not to lose. But, with speculative plays, you can make insane amounts on your money. But you can also lose it all. So anyway, let's begin. These are the stocks I have right now. We'll just go one by one. The main one I have is UVXY. So I've been buying UVXY for over 2 months now. And what I used to do is, let's look at the 3-month chart, is I would buy it for about $10, $10.20, and then sell it when it hits $12 and rinse and repeat. Buy it 10, buy it 10.20, sell it 12, wait for it to crash down again. But with the GameStop volatility that we experienced last week, UVXY went all the way up to $15. So luckily, I was holding a few hundred shares, and when it started to hit $14.50, I pretty much sold everything. So I made a very nice profit on UVXY, and now that it's dropping again, I'm starting to dollar cost average back into it. I'm not fully into it. Right now I only have 26 shares, 26.79, but as you can see, I'm dollar costing in as the price goes down. I have 2 limit orders for prices of $11 and $11.25. And as it continues to crash, I'll buy more. If this goes to $10.50, let's say, I'll probably buy 100 shares or more all at once. So I think the bottom price is about $10.50, $10. And so I'm trying to buy as close to that as possible, because as we saw in the last week, when we have some volatility, or when the Dow goes down by 600 points, this thing can go up to $15. So I think it's a good buy. It's what I'm purchasing, and it's what I would recommend to purchase with your speculative account. Next, I have Embraer. So Embraer is the Boeing of Brazil, pretty much. And if you look at the 5-year chart, it used to be in the $28 range, $18, and then after the coronavirus pandemic shock, it went down to pretty much $5, $6, and that's where it's at now. So I think this is a good short-term play, maybe even a good long-term play. I bought 10 shares, which, is only $67, 70 bucks, but I feel like you could turn $70 into, 150 pretty easily if you can just hold on long enough. I might buy more of this, but right now I'm putting pretty much everything I have in the UVXY in terms of my speculation portfolio. Yeah, see, I have about 42% of my portfolio in it right now, and I have 2 more limit buys, and I'm waiting for it to go down even more, and I'll put more money in. So I anticipate maybe 75% of my portfolio to go into UVXY if I get the price I want. ERJ, I believe, is a good buy. As you can see, I own about 10% of my portfolio is in ERJ. I'd like to buy more, but we'll see. If UVXY pops off, I'll probably throw some of this money into Embraer and into Boeing. I own Boeing as well, but it's on a different account. Boeing is, I was buying at $192. If you look at the 5-year, it was up to $450 pretty much. And if you look at the 1 year, it was $340 before the pandemic. So Boeing has had some issues with plane crashes and with the pandemic, and so their stock is taking a huge hit. I believe that it will eventually go back up to 300. It might take a year, it might take 5 years, but I believe Boeing is a good investment. That's why I own about 20 shares of Boeing, and I think I might buy more if it hits 192 again. Next, I have Rolls-Royce, the car company, but they also make airplane engines. They make airplane engines for Boeing, Embraer. I believe they make some airplane engines for Cessna as well, but don't quote me. I used to work at a private plane company, and so I would see invoices from Rolls-Royce all the time for engine maintenance, and they had Embraer planes. So this is kind of a dual play with Embraer or a tri-play with Embraer and Boeing. I think Rolls-Royce is very speculative. The analysts are telling you not to buy, but usually when the herd tells you not to buy, that's usually the time to possibly buy. There's very high uncertainty. They were having issues with an engine before the pandemic. So they went from a high of about $15, $14.55, and then they steadily decreased because of their engine issues until the pandemic, where they got cut more than half. So they went from $9.21, and right now they're at $1.37. This is a speculative play. I'm not sure if it will turn out. I only own 12 shares, so I only have $16 in it. But hey, you could turn $16 into $160 if it goes back up to $9. So we'll see. It's a speculative play. That's why you only put in $10, $20 and just see what happens. If nothing happens, whatever, it's only $20. If something happens, I can make, close to 80% return on my investment. We'll see what happens. Next, I have Airbus. As you can see, there's a theme. Companies hit hard by the pandemic that I believe in, like airlines, airplane manufacturers. I think they're a good buy. If you look at the 1 year, Airbus was about $37, $38 before the pandemic, and it went all the way to $16. So right now, it's at $26.50. I started buying at $25.50, and I only own one share. I'm just watching it. Sometimes I like to just buy one share and see how it reacts so that it's on my radar. We'll see what happens. I'd like to maybe buy some more, but I'm also involved with UVXY, Rolls-Royce, and ERJ, so I have some opportunity costs I need to consider. Next, I have Wrap. So, Wrap Technologies is a very cool company. I actually got one stock of this for free from Robinhood. Wrap Technologies came out with a Bola whip. I'm not sure if you guys have seen what it looks like. I'll show you a quick demonstration of it. So as you can see, it's a non-lethal thing that police can use to shoot at someone's legs or someone's arms to detain and restrain them. It's the best version of tasers. I believe in this company. I think it's a great idea. I think with all of the Black Lives Matter protests and the awareness of police brutality and police, using guns when they should be using tasers. I think that this could be a nice thing, because if you had someone like George Floyd, for example, when he had when Derek Chauvin, the police officer, had was trying to restrain him with his knee on George Floyd's neck, he could have hypothetically shot George Floyd with a bolo wrap to restrain him, and we probably would have seen a different outcome. So I'm very bullish on this stock. Mix in the fact that a year ago it was about $14 and now it's $5.90. So I love to buy when things are down. I think this is a good long-term hold. I think that we will see interesting things happen. I only own $60 worth, so as you know, I like to diversify my risk. I'm not afraid of taking risks, but I'm not going to put $1,000 on this stock. I'm only going to buy $60, and hey, I might turn $60 into $120. I might turn $60 into $80. This is how you make money in speculative plays. Okay, next, I have some stocks I'm watching. I'm watching Mckesson. I only have like $1 worth. I just bought $1 just so I could get it on my watch list. And, Mckesson has been pretty stable. If you look at the 5-year, it was up to 200 in 2016. Then it went down to like the 150s. And then it was in the 170s, 130s, 125. And then it went up to 150. So it's been pretty stable. I bought $1 worth just because I'd like to know immediately when it hits 150 again. I think that pre-pandemic it went from 160 to like 150, 140. I think that this is a good buy if you can buy it for anything less than 150. So I'm just kind of waiting to see. I started watching it at 179.86. I think this will be a good buy if you can get it for below 150. Crispr, this is something I've been watching since it was in the 50s. This is the gene editing software that allows you to edit your DNA. It's very awesome. It's based out of Switzerland. I started watching it around $60 and now it's at $170. I'd love to buy more of this, but it's too expensive for me right now. I think that a fair market price for this is in the 150s, 140s. So if this went down to like 120, let's say, because right now they are not profitable. If this went down to 120, I think it's an obvious buy. If it can go down to 140, I think I might buy a share as well. But at the current price of 170, I'm not buying. I'm just watching. That's why I have, $8 worth. HSBC. HSBC is a bank. They're based out of England. I guess that's where they're headquartered. But they have a lot of branches in, let's see if I can show, in London. But they have a lot of branches in Hong Kong. This is essentially Hong Kong's #1 bank. And if you watch some of the videos on my politics channel, I've talked about the Hong Kong issues that have been going on. And you can kind of track it that, during the pandemic, before they went from 37 to 26. If you look at the 5-year, you can see that they were at 55, and then when they had some issues with the Hong Kong revolution, Hong Kong protests, they went from 55 down to 40. So this has been on a steady decline for a while. I'm making the guess that a lot of the issues are quote-unquote almost done. I don't think HSBC is going anywhere. I personally would have liked to buy at like 21, but you can never buy at the bottom. That's how idiots think. They say, oh, I'm going to wait and sell at the top and make the most profit, or I'm going to wait and buy at the very bottom to try to get the best cost basis. That's not how it works. You can never buy at the low, and you can never sell at the high. So I think HSBC is a good medium long-term hold. It's not as much of a speculation, but in some ways it is. I'm speculating that they'll recover. This is not something I'd want to throw 10,000 into, but I have 5 shares, $100-something into it. We'll see. I could turn 125 into $200 possibly within the next year with this, but we'll see. It could go down. I have a Chinese auto trader. That's pretty much what this is. It's called Yuxin. I've been to China before. I speak Chinese. I am very bullish on the Chinese stock market in general. My friend actually told me about this company, and they basically do, they're basically an auto trader or KBB for cars. So we'll see. It's only $1.19. I think that this thing could easily double. If you look at the 1 year, it was $1.58. If you look at the 5 year, it was almost $10 on IPO. So this is why you can get screwed when you buy on IPO sometimes, because it can go down. It can also go up. So we'll see what happens. I think that right now it's at an all-time low, and I love buying stocks at all-time lows. So we'll see what happens. I only own 1 share, so worst case scenario, it goes down and I lose $1. I'm looking at it. I might buy more, but I have a lot of other opportunities I'm looking at, especially UVXY, which... Let's take a look at what UVXY is. It's holding strong at 1177, but if UVXY goes down to 1050, I'm going to put everything I have into UVXY for speculative money. Next, I have Castor Maritime. It is a Reddit meme stock. I was actually interested. I only have like 5 shares of it. But I was actually interested in it because they do shipping. So I've been looking to get into the shipping industry for a while now. I'm very fascinated with shipping trains and freight over water. So I'm just watching them. This might not be the best shipping stock, but it's a meme stock, and so I threw $1 into it, but we'll see what happens. I don't think this one is necessarily a good buy, even though at one time it was in the $2 range. We'll see what happens. I'm not too worried. I'm just using this as a way of jumping into the shipping industry. I'd like to, buy some Union Pacific or some of these. I think it's COSCO, I believe, is CONO. No, there's a few shipping companies that do like 50% of all maritime trade. And so I would like to get into that, and I'm using Castor Marine as a way in. To finish up, I own some biotech stocks. I bought Merck yesterday for $77.60. I've already made some money. I think Merck is good because they own Keytruda, which if you watch CNBC, Keytruda is one of the main drugs that they use for immuno-oncology. If you have cancer, God forbid, especially lung cancer, Keytruda is one of the most popular drugs to use for lung cancer if if it fits the bill. Not all lung cancer can use it, but a decent amount of lung cancer patients are using it. And so, this is more of a long-term play, but I like to invest in companies that are trying to cure cancer, that have drugs that are helping out cancer. And, hey, worst case scenario, if it all fails, they'll come up with another drug. I have some Pfizer. Pfizer is cheap right now. It's only $35. Their PE ratio is pretty good too. It's 23. Let's look at Merck. Merck has a PE ratio of 17, so it's actually cheaper than Pfizer, and they offer a dividend. So the market cap is 200. Pfizer's market cap is about the same, 200. So these are both decently good stocks. Pfizer has a little bit more of a PE ratio, but their dividend is a little bit higher. I would put these pretty much on the same plateau. I think it's good to own both of them. Pfizer's 1-year high was 43. Their 5-year high was in the 46 range. So, I think it's a good stock to own and just hold. So I own one share. I think I might buy more here in a little bit, but we'll see because I have other interests at the time. But we'll see what happens. I think that no one's going to buy Pfizer today and in 10 years hate themselves for buying Pfizer. I think it will be here for a long time. Same with Merck. And yeah, I think it will be a good investment. Okay, to finish up, the last biotech I have is BristolMyers Squibb. They're involved in cancer as well. I believe that they own, Otezla, I believe, is the one that I was searching them, or Optivo. So they have a good few drugs to look at. I think that it's very interesting. I think that, I don't believe they're profitable right now, or they just haven't released earnings yet. But I think that, they're releasing earnings right now. So I believe they'll be profitable. But I believe it's a good long-term hold. I believe that, if you buy it today and in 10 years, I don't think you'll be angry. But who knows? It could go down. I think that the high was 77. And right now, the 1-year high was 67. Low was 58. So it's kind of right where I like it. It's not at the absolute low, but it's lower than it was. I think it will be a good buy for long and medium term. Who knows? Short term, it could go up as well. But I like it. They say a fair market price is 68. So no matter what, I think there's at least a $5 margin that you'll get within the next year. But who knows? We'll see what happens. And last but not least, I have GameStop. I was part of a Wall Street Bets push. I owned GameStop, AMC, BB, Nokia, and Dogecoin. I was part of all of the bull runs, and I made a pretty good amount of money. As you can see in my 1 month return, I've made 56% on my gambling account, my speculation account. So, GameStop, I just own like $5 worth, $1 worth. I don't recommend anyone buy a share of GameStop. I just bought it for the social cause, threw $5 into it for the social cause, and that's it. I don't think it's a good buy, but I just did it for the social cause, and it was a fun rally. I sold all of my AMC, BlackBerry, Nokia. I'll do a whole video specifically on last week and all the money that I made, but yeah, I don't recommend buying GameStop. I just owned it for the heck of it. So, that's it. That's what I'm looking at doing. I turned about $500 and almost 900, and we'll see. This is just my speculation account. I don't put the majority of my money, I don't speculate with. I put into ETFs and other long-term investments. Maybe I'll do a video later about my long-term investments, but for a speculation account, this isn't a bad return. So that's that. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and leave comments. So which stocks do you like? What stocks do you not like? What do you think I should do? All right, thank you guys.